Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another discussion video for today. We're going to be talking about the Walking Dead universe. We're going to be going over your guys' Q&A comments for today. We're also going to be talking about some news for the Walking Dead Dead City that might be pretty crazy. And it sounds like they may have kind of unofficially confirmed a brand new season of the franchise here. So, this comes from the Walking Dead universe filming. This one was caught by apparently a few people that have been working on the show, and apparently there is one of the actors apparently said something. I don't even know necessarily who this is, but apparently they said it was a pleasure working with the actor that plays Herschel, and they're looking forward to playing the role, of course, again in the next season. So right there, kind of confirmed. The Walking Dead Dead City will be returning for Season 4. So we can put all those theories to rest, at least I'm pretty sure. Again, until AMC confirms it themselves, we don't know 100%, but it sounds like the actors already know there's going to be a fourth season, and they are not filming Season 3 to be the final season. So Season 4 is the thing. Now, they haven't confirmed if that is the final season, and they haven't even confirmed Season 4 officially. It's just word of mouth right now. So the best way I could kind of talk about it at the moment is saying, listen, it's probably going to happen. I kind of figured we get a Season 4 of Dead City. All I hope for, though, is that is the end. I'm hoping that's the final season. Because if we get a Season 5 and we get a Season 6 and this and that, you're going to be stalling the crossover at that point, and I really don't want to see that happen. So in my opinion, please end it with Season 4 if you know what's good for you. I think a lot of fans could agree. I think 4 is perfectly enough. I don't think you need to do any more than that. Plus, I don't think Dead City deserves to get more seasons than what's a clearly better spin-off series with Daryl Dixon. So I would not say that's a good idea at all. But anyway, that is some news right there. Figured I'd acknowledge that here. But let's get into some of your guys' Q&A comments and questions. I asked you guys to leave some comments, and you guys left me like over 30. So I'm going to have to like cram some of this in here, and then we'll go over some others, as we kind of move along here in, the next, week or two, something like that. Starting things off by Lower Descent, who says, Q&A Dan, was curious on knowing your top 5 worst things the Walking Dead universe has ever done in your opinion. So a quick top 5 worst things Walking Dead universe has ever done. Killing Carl, you absolutely wrecked the franchise with that, and that is the worst thing you've ever done. Number 2 is getting rid of Dave Erickson on Fear the Walking Dead, because ever since they got rid of him, those later seasons of Fear were absolutely horrible. That's definitely number 2. Number 3, I would say at that point, you'd be looking at, to be honest, then I would say the creation of The World Beyond. Yeah, that was a terrible series, absolutely terrible. Number 4, I would then say, is the way they handled Tales from The Walking Dead. That is one of the biggest missed opportunities I've ever seen in the Walking Dead franchise. It was not good, is the best way I'll put it. It was not a good show. And I think they had so many opportunities with so many other characters to do a better thing. And unfortunately, they just didn't. And, then, number 5, I would say, is stretching out the Savior plot for over 3 seasons, because you started it in Season 6, and you made it last all the way to Season 9, and I can tell the people got burned out on that, and that's probably another reason why people stopped watching the show, so I would say that's number 5. But yeah, that's a quick top 5 in terms of worst things they did, things that, could have made the franchise better had they didn't do those things, that sort of thing. Next one is from Giuseppe DeRosa, who says, Q&A, Dan, how did you feel about them killing off Morales? I really feel like you could have done so many more interesting storylines with him. If you ask me, they definitely did a dumb thing and missed the opportunity with his character. I mean, I agree to a degree, you're looking at a Season 1 character there, you know what I mean? I could kind of agree that maybe his character could have lasted longer, that maybe you could have done more with him. I mean, especially Season 8, you know what I mean? They were celebrating 100 episodes at the time. So, you could have definitely done something bigger with him. I don't think I would have made him a villain. I think I would have made him a good guy, though. I don't think making him a villain would have been interesting. He just doesn't seem like that type of character to me. That's kind of why it was weird when he returned in the first place. I was like, wait, he's a villain now? What the hell, But he was barely even that, you know what I mean? Because Daryl just, So, I mean, he didn't really even get a chance to be that, you know what I mean? Morales, I agree with you, Giuseppe. I don't know what they did that for. To be honest, I think I know why, but And you know, this guy's a great Walking Dead YouTuber. He's the greatest. You know what I mean? He's the greatest. But I remember Trev Chan too. His fan base at the time, they were going crazy with Morales theories, and I feel like it's almost like because, you know, Trev was, you know, like a big Walking Dead YouTuber, you know, during the original show, and I remember when that happened, I feel like maybe, like, you know, AMC and Gimple kind of looked at the community, looked at what was kind of, you know, popular at the time, and they were like, you know what, like, why not, you know what I mean? That's kind of why I did like the return in a weird way, though, because I'm like, hey, listen, it shows that Trev got himself far on YouTube, you know what I mean? Because I guarantee his fan base is what brought Morales back, you know what I mean? And to me, Trev is like, he's the king, like, you know what I mean? Like, when I was little, I looked up to him, you know what I mean? Like, him and Bronny Hayes and some of those ones, you know what I mean, that did all that Walking Dead content back in the day. That's honestly kind of why I kind of like the return in that way, you know, because it kind of highlighted his fan base in a way. That's kind of what it felt like to me. So, I felt like because of that, they made it a cameo, but I do think his character should have gone on longer. I agree. I think there was a lot of opportunity, you know what I mean? Next one comes from Horizon, who says, okay, Dan, here's my Q&A. Do you think the villains in the spin-off series of the Walking Dead universe was not as good as the villains that were in the main series? Early day main series, yes. I'd say Alpha and before, right? Because then you get into, like, Pope and the Reapers and Leah and Pamela, and I didn't like the Season 11 villains at all. It's like from the moment Season 11 started all the way to where we are now, the villains have been mediocre. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what it is. Like, they just can't write good villains anymore. I don't know what the deal is. I think they, like, you know, let's look at it. Like, Pope, not a good villain. Got everything I needed out of him. You know, like, no, not good. Leah, not great at all. Very inconsistent. Pamela, not that great. Lance was good, but I felt like they did him dirty at the end. They didn't really write him correctly. And then, well, you know, the Croat's good, but they're kind of messing up his villain arc now, you know what I mean? He's kind of just a good guy. And, you know, Dama is awful. Colonel Lucia from New Babylon, just New Babylon in general, are not good. Madame Genet was actually pretty good, but I didn't think she was, you know, concluded all that well. Yeah, I mean, you know, you have the King of Spain, who I thought was honestly the worst one so far. He was terrible. And then, you know, you had Fide, who's kind of a villain, you know what I mean? He's like an internal, you know, threat, so I guess you can kind of count him. I do feel like they've decreased on their, you know, yeah, on their villains. I don't know necessarily why. I don't know why they would, but I don't know. It's kind of just, you know, I guess the way the modern Walking Dead goes. I have no idea. Jipple says, do you think they will be able to bring back every character of the crossover? Because leaving out characters like Connie, Jerry, Princess, and even Dwight and Sherry would hurt the reunions and the crossover, in my opinion. No, I agree. You either get them all, or you get none at all. You know what I mean? I agree. It needs to be like a cast reunion. Like, it needs to be everybody coming back together. You know, if you're missing one or two from, like, you know, a C-lister, D-lister, who cares? But at least get the prominent characters, and yes, like you mentioned, you know, Connie, Jerry, Princess, Dwight, yes, like, these are, you know, important characters, and if you don't bring them in, it definitely won't feel like something's missing, for sure. Like, I would like to see Princess interact with Negan, which I don't know why the hell they didn't do that in Season 11, but, you know, they didn't, I guess. You know, I'd like to see Dwight interact with Jerry. That'd be cool, you know? Like different, you know, characters from different perspectives of the world interacting in this crossover would be so cool. That's why I want them to stop making Dead City and Daryl Dixon so we can actually get to those things, you know what I mean? But no, we gotta keep getting more seasons of freaking Dead City, you know what I mean? The next one comes from Simba Fan, who says, hey Dan, if you could pick either Morgan or Daryl to reunite with Rick first, which one would you pick? Daryl, because Morgan doesn't believe that Rick is dead. That's why. That's why I would say Daryl first. I love Morgan. I love him to death. I want him to reunite with Rick. But if I had to choose one to happen, and it means the other one could never happen, sorry, I'm going Daryl. I'm going Daryl. It's more important, if you ask me. And Morgan could just think that Rick's fine, you know, because he is, you know what I mean? So that's why I would say Daryl first, for sure, absolutely. And the last one comes from Father Daniel. It says, Q&A, if we get a reunion type of series, do you think the CRM will play a part? I was hardcore into the CRM, and I was so let down on how they were handled in The Ones Who Live, and left on the other spinoffs completely. So all the hype I had for them is extremely deflated. Do you think they could have any part in the crossover series? Yeah, I think they will, but I think they'll just be allies. I don't think the CRM is going to be the storyline anymore. You know, from a marketing standpoint, I don't think Gimple's going to want to advertise the CRM again. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I just don't see that going down like that. But, you know, again, I could be wrong for sure. And, you know, if there is more to the CRM, as long as it's not Mason Beale coming in and shooting Rick and killing him, I'm good, you know what I mean? I'm good with seeing more, you know? But it has to be those things, so we'll see how that all kind of goes. But anyway, what do you guys think of the word that Dead City Season 4 may be happening? We'll see. I still gotta wait till AMC actually confirms it, but I believe it. I think we'll probably get a Season 4. So, to me, it's like a half confirmation, you know what I mean? But yeah, great comments, guys. I got plenty more to go through, so I'm gonna definitely do a part 2 to this probably in a few days. Thank you all for watching. Post your comments down below, guys, and if you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys, and of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist. Beat world gone mad, TV junkies did a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a straight fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.